Hey, what's going on, crypto people? It is your boy, the Crypto Siege, with another day in the life and the crazy life that is cryptocurrency. What's good, guys? Hope you guys are having an awesome day. Happy Thursday. It's August, right? Wow. We're getting closer and closer to that fall bull run season. That fall-winter bull run season is upon us. Absolutely excited about that. So, guys, listen. SBI VC Trade Pro is up and running. I know you guys have probably heard about this already. Interesting note. The Modern Investor was reporting that he was only able to find one thing in the news about this very, very significant launch. Think about it. It's an exchange. It's the only exchange in a digital assets space that is backed by a bank. It's the only one. This exchange is going to provide major liquidity, which, point of fact, is a major concern throughout the entire digital asset space. The entire digital asset space. SBI was one of the first 11 banks, if you will, to get approval from the Japanese FSA. So this is major, massive news, yet only one article. I believe I saw something from Cointelegraph, and that was from Japan, when Crypto Eddie did her video about it. But think about it. So only one article. Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. And it's very, very interesting to me. And for the longest time, I thought, well, a lot of it is these Cointelegraphs or whatever they might be, probably whatever it is, Ethereum World News, whatever they are, right? So they're not, obviously they're kind of more the Bitcoin Maximus, if you will, the Bitcoin Maxis. But this is major news for the entire digital asset space. And it's like, it's not being talked about. It's the same thing with the fact that XRP is hardly ever mentioned. Now, I kind of get why XRP is not being mentioned yet by prominent people in the media. I totally 100% get it. I know what's up. And I hope you guys know what's up. When they mention it, it's going to be massive. And they know it. I'm really, really excited about the exchange, SBI VC Trade Pro exchange, because I just know when it's about the users being in the space, when it's about the users having access to XRP. That's really what it's about. When the bull run starts, and it's going to start, it's going to be millions upon millions of people, just even alone in Japan, wanting to grab some XRP, hitting that SBI VC Trade Pro exchange. And that's just going to provide the volume that's necessary for the price increase. So it's going to be massive. It's not going to be today or tomorrow, without question. The bull run's coming. I have no doubt in my mind about that. That's coming. But for me, it's a September, October thing. Just like it was in 2017. I quite frankly believe, this is just me, between they, quote unquote, needing XRP to be at a higher price and able to move, the billions, if not trillions of dollars that they want to move, whether that be on a monthly basis or a daily basis. Between that and they needing that price to be high, and then you add in the additional people that are going to come into the space. Now, I get there is a certain amount that left because of this major crazy bear market, but they're going to come back, and there's going to be more people. And let's not forget about the institutions that are coming into the space. The Ledger X exchange has launched with their futures, physically backed futures, and backed is coming, right? We hope it's coming soon. So it's just going to be more people in the space, more dollars, more importantly, in this digital asset space. And so between those two or three things, me personally, I do not see how XRP is not $15 to $20. Just me. And it's going to be a part of it's going to be the bull run. Part of it's going to be, them needing it to kind of get to where it needs to be. But I don't see that. I don't see how that's not going to happen by February of 2020. That's just me. I'm not a TA guy, but when I just look at the news and I look at everything that's kind of going on and kind of considering all the things, most people, quote unquote, experts, believe this bull run is going to not only last longer, but it's going to be significantly better for the major players. And I've heard 3 to 7 times bigger. I've heard 5 to 7 times bigger than the 2017 bull run. So, I can easily see, for me, 5 times, that's 50, easily see $15 to $20 XRP. And again, and for me, it's going to accomplish a couple of things. Number one, they needed to be at that price, but listen, they are trying to get, they're trying to get people out. Again, we're not supposed to hold this XRP, right? We're not supposed to hold it. So a $15 to $20 XRP is going to get, a good amount of us, right? A good amount of us out of the space. I mean, let's just face it. For some people, that's going to be life-changing money. $15 to $20 XRP. I mean, come on, right? So, and a reason why they don't mention it is they don't want the masses to know about XRP. They just, if you don't get that yet, if you don't see that yet, you gotta watch some more videos. They do not want the masses to own XRP. They don't. Look, they had to get it out to some of us, right? That's part of the whole decentralized thing, right? Ripple, the company, can't own every single XRP. That ain't gonna work, right? So they had to get it out to some of us, and I believe 1,000% that we're blessed to own it. We're blessed to be able to have it. But they don't want the masses owning it. I don't want the masses owning it. I can guarantee you that. And so there's a lot of debate going on about who ultimately is the Fed ultimately going to implement this new financial system. Is it going to be run by the Fed with the real-time gross settlement? Listen, I don't think it's a coincidence or happenstance that these questions of faster payments coming up in Senate hearings. Mnuchin mentioning it, Jerome Powell talking about it, or at least when asked, giving his input on it. And you think about that, Jerome Powell and Steve Mnuchin, both intimately familiar with Ripple, the company, and XRP, the digital asset. Stephen Mnuchin wrote the Executive Order 13772. You see Jerome Powell hanging out with Christine Lagarde, right? So you don't think he said, "Hey, who is this Brad Garlinghouse dude?" Right? So they've had these conversations. They know. They had this the federal, the FSOC. They've had the faster payments task force. They've been looking in and perhaps even building out this system for some years now. And it's just a matter, when Brad and David and Schwartz talk about the switching, turning on the switch, flipping the switch on, I think people don't quite understand it yet. $2 trillion a day is what I understand for the Federal Reserve. $2 trillion a day. A day. So it looks to me to be something that is inevitable. It's going to be done by the Fed, and who knows if the CFTC is going to get in and what is that? Kind of put it as a commodity and just like let's have evaluation. If it's XRP is a commodity, what is the value? What is the use case? Get this kind of price set, if you will. It just feels like it's coming. It feels like it's coming. I don't even. It's a lot of times it is almost scary to think that we were blessed enough to be in a position to grab something. And I just feel like, You know how people keep talking about the no price movement, all this news, no price movement. I say no price movement with all this news, something's not right. You got to say that doesn't make sense, right? That doesn't make sense. And to me, because it doesn't make sense, that means that we're in a very, very unique situation. A very, very unique situation. So whether the people at Ripple and they got some AI algorithm thing that's making sure that this, you don't get this big price spreads. Now, to me, says that they're preparing for something so significant that we can't even wrap our brains around it. You know what I mean? So it's absolutely exciting. Every time we turn around, I mean, the Make of America patent was cool to find out and learn about, and the fact that Brad was surprised by it, and his whole reaction to that video, in that interview, is absolutely priceless. To me, it's just, it rings the bell of how big this thing is going to be. You know what I mean? And every time we turn around, it's just a new partnership. The whole money tap thing from SBI, and the fact that, they're looking to, go the Xrp route. If they haven't, I heard two different kind of things. I think they're looking to get. So Ripple's looking to invest in the money tap, and money tap obviously is looking to use the Xrp thing. So that's going to happen. If it hasn't already, it's going to happen without question. We got Mr. Cattell, who is by far the game changer for XRP, without question. And I don't know. Japan can do their own thing, and who knows what they're going to do with XRP. Got 5 banks already using it, and 25 plugged in via API, something like that. It's going to be massive, and so I get excited about the discipline and the patience that's required for us as XRP holders, because I just know, the greater the challenge, the greater the struggle, the greater the reward, and so I'm excited about it, absolutely excited about it. Hope you guys are preparing for the bull run. I hope you're preparing. Hope you've leveled up your XRP IQ, your financial IQ. Another great book to read, by the way, is The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clayson, I believe it is. The Richest Man in Babylon. You want to check that book out as well. Level up that financial IQ, guys. It's important to do so that you are prepared when this thing happens. Because we don't want to go lose it all. Go spend it all. Kava Labs is still doing their thing. I heard they got something called Switch, which is a wallet that allows you to, sort of like in an atomic swap type manner, to switch between different blockchains. That's going to be massive. So XRP, you got the XRP fund, which is basically, just saying, hey, come figure out some more ways to use XRP in the apps arena. That's massive. So they're just proving their case. Ripple, the company, is proving their case, geniusly doing different things to say these are all the different use cases for XRP. It's funny because I commented in Brad Kime's stream last night about that I believe that Ripple and or XRP are going to be the only thing that is agreed upon between the Feds and Jerome Powell and President Donald Trump. They're going to be the only thing that they agree upon. And Brad had an interesting point too. He said, Jerome Powell's kind of not in Trump's graces, but you never know. The Donald, he can switch up at any time and be, my guy Jerome. He's a smart guy. But I could just literally hear Trump talking about Ripple. Like, you guys have heard me say this on past videos. I can just hear him talking about Brad and Ripple, the U.S. company, and all, the Ripple and the XRP and what it all does, and the XRP tip body. He'll probably even mention how he has he uses the XRP tip body, and it's a great thing. How he always likes to use great. So I can just kind of see it happening. Still up for debate on who's going to actually be the one that mentions XRP and Ripple when it comes to faster payments. I think it's going to be, I think it's probably, Jerome Powell with Steve Mnuchin kind of in the background, and they'll both speak on it, type of deal, and then President Trump will, do another conference himself and, sing the praises. So I think it's going to be Jerome Powell that's going to initially mention the word XRP and Ripple. And I don't think it's a coincidence, again, that these senators are bringing up faster payments and sort of hinting towards Ripple, the company, because they, will mention fintech companies or private companies, and that whole narrative. It's just a matter of time. I don't think it's coincidence. It's going to happen. Looks like it's going to be the Federal Reserve, and they're going to implement, put in this new financial system. That's going to be massive. And XRP, again, it's going to be in the framework. It's going to be the foundation for everything. So I can just see it happening. Absolutely, 100% see it happening. So exciting times if you're an XRP holder. Exciting times. How many of you guys find it interesting that the Modern Investor mentioned he couldn't find anything? He's a deep dive guy about that SPI VC Trade Pro being launched. Massive for the digital asset space. Again, it's going to be one of those things, and that's another one of those things that Powell and Mnuchin and Trump will be able to say. They're providing liquidity. Again, you get a lot of people that argue that it's not this quote unquote experts argue that it's not enough liquidity in the digital asset space, right? And so if these quote unquote experts like Novogratz or Barry Silbert are saying this, so Powell and Trump and Mnuchin, they know it as well, and so they're going to be able to say how XRP is doing this and providing liquidity here, and this exchange is here, and the BitTrue is doing this, and they're going to be able to say all these different things, because trust me when I say the Shane Ellis theory is becoming more and more plausible every single day. More and more plausible every single day. And when it happens, when this quote unquote, the set valuation, whatever happens that the CFTC does in terms of XRP being deemed a commodity, when it happens, they're going to be answering questions, and people like Powell and Trump and Mnuchin are going to be answering questions, and they'll be able to point to use cases and liquidity and exchanges and what it's solving, the problem that it's solving. Again, if we know about doing things in terms of the Nostra Vostra with banks, they know as well. And if we know about the different use cases, whether it be Coil or Dama or Kava, they know also, and they'll be able to sing the praises of Ripple and our XRP. So put people's mind at ease, and get them to understand why the price said if that's going to happen. I believe it is. I believe Bitcoin's going to do its thing. They're going to let the bull run kind of come do its thing. XRP's going to start doing its stuff. But then, once they're ready, someone's going to come out and say it's a commodity, and it'll be the price set, and it's going to be crazy because they need it to be high, and we cannot ever forget that they need it to be high. Now, however they're going to decide to get it there is how they decide to get it there, but it is going to be high. It has to. And that's the bottom line, is that it has to be. And so we're in a great spot. We're in a blessed spot to be an XRP holder. We're absolutely even more blessed, in my opinion, to be in this new asset class, in this space, before the masses. Before the masses. And so I hope you're excited about it. I hope you feel good about where you are as an XRP holder. Because it's exciting times, guys. I tell you, it is absolutely exciting. So I hope you guys can continue to strengthen your resolve to be patient. I know it's been a long time. I hope you can, discipline your disappointments and realize that you hold the greatest digital asset ever created. Get your cash flow up if you haven't. You want to do that. You want to get that cash flow up. I don't know about the whole 2 jobs thing. I'm not a big fan of that. But if you can, get that cash flow up, right? That's the key. Cash flow is the key, so that we can save and invest, right? That's the key. So anyway, guys, listen. Never ever forget that old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. Old money would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating? Or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know. The battle for you has already been fought. And the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya.